Inflation rates in the US this month reached an eye-watering 7.5%, a number not seen for about 40 years. Now, with banks across the nation paying an average rate of about 0.01% to its savers, is there anywhere safe for our money to sit at during this time? Hi, I'm Kaylem, and I'm here to share with you one of my many favorite ways to keep my money safe from inflation after the intro. Welcome to Happy Land Sessions, a show dedicated to the development of you, our community. Join us in pursuit of Happy Land as we dive into topics relating to our physical and mental health, our wealth, and whatever else our community finds interesting. Welcome back. I'm super excited for this session today because of the content that we're going to be bringing can make someone's day, can give a little bit of control back into their lives in terms of their finances, and ease a little bit about worry about how to keep up during these uncertain times. I just want to remind all of you that I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a person on the internet sharing my research and blogging out loud what I'm doing with my own money. Now, my goal is to convince you to do your own research and to make an informed decision about what to do with your own money. Now, if you need a little bit more guidance on this journey, I happily invite you to the Happy Land community where we focus on finding Happy Land by sharing tips and tricks as to building wealth, building health, and also building motivation to keep striving on. So let's get into it. So the hurdle rate to beat is going to be around 7.5%, which is admittedly a little bit high. Now, our government recommends a 2% yearly inflation rate, so now we're over 3 times that at the moment, right? So what choices do we have, right? In an environment where 0.01% is the savings rate, right? Where can we store our money? How can we keep it safe? Stablecoins. So stablecoins, for those who don't know what it is a crypto-backed security, right? Whose value is going to be always pegged to a country's currency. So in my case, it's going to be US dollars, but it could be a stablecoin for euros, a stablecoin for Australian dollar, whatever it is that you need, then most likely is going to be a stablecoin involved. But the US stablecoin is the one that we're going to be working with today. And this is very attractive because we are looking for a safe way to safeguard our money, right? We're safeguarding against inflation. We're not really looking to have that value change, right? We want to put our money into Bitcoin, have it be 60,000 one day and then 30,000 the next. Really defeats the purpose of safeguarding our money if the value fluctuates like that, right? So volatility isn't necessarily what we're looking for at this point. We don't necessarily want that to be an investment per se, but as an alternative to a savings account, basically. But let me remind you that none of these things that I'm going to be talking about is in a legitimate savings account. It's not the exact same way that it's insured, like the federal government insures our deposits, right? So there are going to be slight little different risks. This is where we encourage you to do your own research, right, about these situations, right? However, once you're able to kind of make the jump to change your fiat currencies into stable coins, right? There are multiple crypto companies that would actually pay you to deposit your money with them. These are usually exchanges or brokers that then use your coins to basically facilitate their business, right? And so today I want to show you these companies that would pay upwards of 12% for your stable coins. Right, and this is part 1 of the series. In part 2, we're going to go over a extra credit part on how you can earn up to 19.5% on your stable coins, right? Which is the way that I use to put my money. However, my parents, and others that don't really want to get too involved within the crypto world, they can still benefit from these easy to do, low hanging fruit in terms of lending the money out to these crypto companies, right? So let's get started with low-hanging fruit, right? Which is signing up for these crypto exchanges and brokers, and then taking advantage of the earn offers that they have in terms of storing our money with these exchanges, right? And then I'm going to quickly go over 3 that I like in this session. And each of them are going to have their own referral codes or things like that. Feel free to use my referral code or not. If you do, it'll give us both a small Bitcoin amount that they do to introduce new people. So feel free to use these codes, and they'll be in the description and also probably scrolling across the video as I go through each of these exchanges. Okay, so let's start with my favorite, right? The best first. My personal favorite is an app called Voyager. Now, Voyager is a Canadian company, and it's on the stock market and everything like that. Very legitimate came in, sometime last year and has been very popular because it is the closest that I've seen for a native liquid staking for our coins, right? And that's just a different term. And if you don't understand the term, don't worry about it. All I mean by it is that they will actually pay you for the balances that you have holding within your account on Voyager. So that means that if I'm interested in, let's say, Bitcoin, and I buy some Bitcoin and I leave it in Voyager, my Bitcoin will earn a passive interest rate and I can sell it anytime, right? So in this case, we're going to be talking about the USDC yields. The USDC, which is the stable coin that I prefer to buy, and Voyager pays 9% on that USDC. And so with the same advantages of what we're saying about Bitcoin, you can just buy the USDC and leave it in your account, and that's really all you have to do. So at the end of the day, download the app, sign up, put in your money, however much you want to put into savings, right? And then buy USDC with that money, and then just leave it there in the account and earn 9%. This 9% is obviously a yearly number, so 9% a year, and Voyager pays at the first of every month. So you divide that 9% into 12 payments, and you'll get one every month, basically, depending on how much money you have. And what I really like about it is that it's real-time, accounting of your funds, right? So if you end up putting $100 today, and then you want to put $200, next week, it's still counted, and they'll prorate that for you at the end of the month. And so how I use this is that I will have money that's going into my account every week. And basically, I love the fact that it's so liquid that I can just sell it anytime. I'm not stuck into any time periods, because then I can use that money to buy crypto whenever it dips or things like that. You might have your own strategy. My parents just keep their money there all the time and they just soak up the interest, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? So Voyager is going to be my first choice just because of that ability, that your money is still highly liquid. And it's one of the best reasons why I suggest Voyager to all of my friends that are allowed to use the service. Now, for places that cannot use the service, in my case, a lot of my friends are in New York City, and New York has very restrictive crypto laws. They can't sign up for Voyager. In that case, I recommend my second favorite app, which is going to be called Gemini. So Gemini is very interesting because they offer their own stablecoin, the Gemini US dollars, or GUSD, and the rates that they pay for that is going to be around 8% currently, which is not too far off from Voyager. Now, the reason that Gemini for me falls short and why it's not my go-to is beyond the whole one less percentage, is that your funds are stuck there for a little bit. Anywhere from 1 to 5 days is what they say. So in the case of Voyager, you buy it, you leave it in your account, you're earning interest. In the case of Gemini, you have to buy the GUSD, then you have to deposit the GUSD. And if you want to sell it again, you can withdraw anytime the GUSD and then sell it. But there's a lag between the moment that you withdraw the money and the moment you're able to sell it. And that's something that's not as big of an issue with Voyager. And this lag is basically the big reason on why Gemini is not my first choice. However, if you're unable to sign up for Voyager, then 8% in Gemini is way better than nothing at all. And a 1 to 5 day wait on your money isn't the most terrible thing that I've seen, especially when you compare it to regular banks, which takes 2 to 3 days anyway to do a transaction. So something to keep in mind. And the last crypto exchange that I want to go over is called Crypto.com. Now, I mentioned Crypto.com because for any of our friends abroad, Crypto.com is, basically worldwide. I also like it because it has some of the highest interest rates for stablecoins in terms of not having to do anything other than buy it and set it, forget it, right? So with Crypto.com, you have two choices. The first choice is if you are an investor in their coin, Crow, which is their native coin for their blockchain, or if you're not an investor, right? So since this is the beginner video, let's assume that you're not invested in Crow, right? If you are invested, you'll get upwards of 12% for your stablecoin interest rate. If you're not invested, somewhere around 10%. So 10% is the actual rate. So 10% is higher than Voyager's 9%. However, once again, Voyager is my favorite. And the reason why Crypto.com is not my favorite is because with the money that you have in that account, you actually have to leave it there for a period of time. I think it's somewhere about 6 months. So your money is locked up for 6 months in order to get this 10% or this 12%, right? And so that's what I personally don't like about it, right? But if you are, in your case, you're not using your money for anything, you're going to leave it there anyway for an undisclosed amount of time, then there's no reason why not earn the extra interest rate, right? However, in my personal opinion, if you have options to stay liquid, I would prefer to stay liquid, basically. So there you have it. Those are the top 3 exchanges with earn programs that I personally like. And these are not the only programs, right? Not the only exchanges with earn programs. There are a ton more, right? But these are the best that I've seen. And these are considered what I would consider to be low effort entries, right? Into higher stablecoin yields. So they're not the highest that you can get. And in our next session, we're going to cover Anchor, which is going to give upwards of 19.5%, which is light years away from 0.01 on national banks, and also a good amount away from, let's say, 9% or 10%, right? Almost doubled. But that requires a higher effort, requires some more learning, some more diving into crypto, and some more learning about the risks involved, right? This is basically what we've shown here today is the easiest way to get into stablecoin yields, right? And have a set it and forget it approach. And this is how, for example, how my parents keep all of their money on these exchanges, because of how easy it is to use. They can take money out, they can put money in. It's really up to them. It doesn't require any fancy technical movements or learning for that, right? And so if that is good enough for you guys, hey, you're already doing super well at 8 to 10%, super well against the eroding effects of inflation. So you're busy, you've got things to do, no judgment here. This is more than enough in terms of stemming the tide of inflation, right? So if this is good enough for you, that's perfectly fine. However, if you're interested in earning a little bit more, almost double, right, and don't mind doing a little bit of extra credit because there'll be some extra steps involved, stay tuned for our next section where we're going to talk about how to get that, right? We're going to walk through how to actually, the step-by-step in terms of how to get the 19% yield, okay? So at this moment, that's really all I have to share for you guys at this video. If you have any questions, feel free to post a comment. As I said, if you want to support our channel, the best thing you can do is like, subscribe, retweet, wherever it is that, however it is that you're consuming the content right now to help share this, because we really hope that this is going to be a helpful way to help people basically combat about what's happening right now with our economy across the world. And the only thing that I have left to say is I'm going to want to plug my Discord at Happy Land Gummy Bears. And so the Discord link is going to be below. Feel free to join us so that we can discuss how to basically find Happy Land, right? How to find happiness, right? And in our case, we define that as being able to go ahead and find our health, right? Find our wealth, and also our motivation to kind of keep moving. So if that's interesting to you, if you would like to join a community, with those objectives in mind, feel free to check us out on Discord. And then that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you in the next session. Goodbye. We hope you've enjoyed this session at Happy Land. If you're interested in becoming a part of our community, head out to our website, happylandgummybears.com, to learn more. See you next time Happy Land is in session. It's hibernation time for this gummy bear.